Well, hey everyone, this is Grace of GB Maltese, and I hope you're doing finer than frogs hair today. Look at Ginger. I can't leave it like that very long. Look at the sparkles on here. Whoa, look. She's coming out. I am really impressed. Because I really wasn't sure how this was going to work out, but you know what? I'm seeing Ginger's face popping out here. So I'm going to do a little bit of work on it while I talk to you a little bit. This is books behind her. This is a bookcase. So we'll see how that all turns out. So let me get this going and get my camera angle here so you can see me working on this beauty. My little Ginger. Doesn't she look gorgeous? When I first opened this, I really had my doubts that this was going to look anything like my dog. I really wasn't sure. But it's looking so much better than I anticipated. So we're going to move on. I pulled out symbol number 3, which is this color right here. Oops, there we are. And that happens to be 436. So, I am enjoying doing some of the crazy laws. I thought I'd do some crazy laws about food today. Because I just thought they were kind of interesting. Excuse me. Tell you what. There is smoke or something in the air, and we got pollen. I took a drive to the post office today, and there was pollen all over the car. Yeah, when you see the yellow on the windshield, all over the car itself, you know it's going to be a rough few days. You notice I'm not wearing my glove today. My hand is feeling much better. I wear a splint on it at night to keep this thumb straight, and that seems to be helping. And I'm taking some Move Free, I think is the name of it. It's a joint stuff that's got glucosamine in it and hyaluronic acid and other stuff, to see if I can't keep that from happening anymore. Haven't tried crocheting yet, but I'm going to. Yes, I am. I want to work on my mermaid blanket for my niece. It's coming out so cute. I'll show it to you guys when it's done. I am loving it. So, a lot of you have said you enjoy listening to these funny and crazy laws. I'm also going to do other types of things. I just have been a little bit dumbfounded by some of the ones that I have found. I'm like, where did they come up with that? So, let's get started. I have several that I wrote down, and let's see what you think. Can you think of any reasons maybe why they came up with some of these? Now, this first one, really and truly, I don't know why they thought they needed to make this a law, because you would think common sense would tell you to do this. But in Chicago, it is illegal to eat in a place that is on fire. You would think common sense would prevail, and if somebody saw the building they were in was in flames, that they would hightail it on out of there. But yeah, that is one of their laws. It's illegal. Don't know if that's still on the books. Some of these are still on the books. A lot of them are still on the books. Just don't take the time to go back and take them off, I guess. Now, this one kind of grosses me out. Big time. But I know people do this, and if you don't have much, I could understand doing this, but in both West Virginia and Tennessee, it is okay. You may take roadkill home to eat. Now, if you don't know what roadkill is, I'll do a brief explanation. I'm sure most of you do. But roadkill is things that are found that have been killed on the road, usually hit by a car. And in my experience, most of the roadkill I see has been possum. I've seen armadillos, raccoons occasionally. I've seen skunks. And sadly, I have also seen dogs and cats. But there are times that deer get run over, especially when deer season opens up and people are shooting deer, because that's a big thing here in my part of Texas. And the deers are running, and they will go right across roads, and people hit them with their car. And it's very dangerous. Not just for the deer, but for the people who are driving. But yeah, if you are so inclined, you can take that roadkill home and have it for your supper. So, I just found that was really strange. Okay. All right. Now, I've read some things that said this was not true, and some people said it pertained to something else. But anyway, there might have been a law that made the sale of any size lollipops illegal in the state of Washington. I also read where it just said the sale of lollipops with drugs on them was illegal to sell. And yes, I think that would be a good thing to do. Maybe they were having problems with that. I don't know. But I thought that was a little strange. This next one gives me a good laugh. In the state of Oklahoma, it is illegal to take a bite out of someone's hamburger without asking their permission first. So the next time you are in Oklahoma and you see you walk into a restaurant or fast food place and you're not sure exactly what kind of hamburger you want to eat, you might see someone with a nice juicy hamburger and say, "Hey man, can I take a bite out of that? I just want to see if I want to order one." Well, can you imagine the reaction on that person's face? And you might get a bloody nose over that. I can just see myself asking somebody, "Yeah, I don't think that, that's just nasty." No, thank you. No, thank you, please. Now, in New Jersey, it is against the law to slurp your soup. Yeah, I don't like that sound. But I guess some of those lawmakers really hated it. And maybe they heard some people when they were out eating doing that and thought, we're going to make that into a law. You may not slurp your soup. Okay. Now, this next one is in Marion, Oregon. And this is against the law to eat a donut and walk backwards. That's probably a good thing to do. Whether you're eating a donut or not, I don't think it's a good idea to be walking backwards, especially if you're going along the street. You might run into something, like a car. So I think that they don't need to be walking backwards whether they're eating a donut or not. And, I mean, was that a thing or something, walking backwards, if they had to make that into a law? Strange. Very strange. Now, in North Dakota, if you go to a bar or a restaurant, it is against the law for them to serve beer and pretzels at the same time. Why? I haven't the slightest idea. You would think that would go together pretty good. But no. Do not. They will not serve them at the same time. That's probably not still in effect, but I don't know. If you don't see them serving it, then I wonder if you ordered it. If they could say, sorry, we can't do that. Don't know. If you're in North Dakota, try that out. Okay. This next one is a law in Iowa. It is against the law for you to be carrying around a rotten egg. Now, yeah, that sounds, gross and all, but you know what? I got to thinking. If you had a rotten egg and somebody tried to attack you, if you just slapped it right up in their face, that might discourage them just a little bit. I don't know. That was just an idea. I'm thinking, okay, I get this and right in someone's face. Better leave me alone. I got another one. Where that one came from. But yeah, it is against the law to carry around rotten eggs. Maybe some of the politicians were making speeches and they might have gotten, a few rotten eggs in the face or something. Who knows? So, now for those of you who enjoy eating snake, if you go to Kansas, you can only eat snakes on Sunday. Okay? So if you have a hankering for a snake, just don't go and eat it on a Sunday. Now, I've known people who've eaten snakes. I am not one of them. I do not care to try it. Just don't feel like it. I don't want it. But I know my brother has eaten it and a few others I know. And have you noticed that whenever someone eats something really weird, they always say, it tastes a lot like chicken. I'm like, okay, so everything tastes like chicken, I guess. I have heard that chickens and birds are from the dinosaur family. I don't know. A dinosaur, I would think, would be, like a reptile. So, I'm over here just working away, and I don't even have this. I'm so busy looking at these laws and thinking about them, I forgot what I was doing. Sorry. Boy, too bad y'all can't holler at me from where you're at, and I could hear it, That would be kind of fun. But, yeah, I have found that quite strange that people tell me so many things taste like chicken. I don't know. I do not know. But that's just, that's what I hear a lot about a lot of food. Okay. Now. All right. This is a law that is in Alabama. It is against the law to ever walk around with an ice cream cone in your back pocket. And in Georgia, it's only on Sundays that you can't do it. Wow, you must be wanting a sticky butt. You're going to put your ice cream cone in your back pocket. I don't know, unless they're talking about an empty one. And that's still, can you imagine it? Smash it to smithereens. Now, if I have an ice cream cone, I'm going to be eating that sucker. I don't know about you, but I love my ice cream. Don't you get between me and my ice cream. Just don't do it. And we'll all be okay. But I thought that a little bit weird. Yeah, just don't put the ice cream cone in your back pocket. This is in Yuma, Arizona. If you are caught stealing citrus fruit, your punishment could be having to take castor oil. Ugh. I have never tasted castor oil, but I have heard. My mom and dad had told me about that, many years ago, and how bad it tastes. And they took castor oil to help them go to the bathroom. So my dad would say every so often his mom would think they needed to take some castor oil, keep everything running. But yes, that would make a pretty good punishment for a lot of things. No, I will not be taking any citrus fruits in Yuma. Okay, here's another law in West Virginia, and this would really upset my husband. It is. You can be imprisoned. Didn't say you will be, but you can be imprisoned for cooking cabbage or sauerkraut because of the horrendous smell. Now, my husband loves both of those foods, and we might get in trouble. As he especially loves his cabbage. So, yeah, just don't do it in West Virginia. I don't know if it's the way I cook my cabbage that's different or what, but mine does not really smell real bad the way I fix it. But I don't know. Maybe people fix it different ways and gives it a different smell. I do know sauerkraut does have a pungent smell, but then so do a lot of other foods that people enjoy. So, hey, let's not be hating on those cabbage and sauerkraut lovers. Let them eat it. It's actually good for you. It's good for you to be eating that stuff. Okay. This one, when I read it, it made me laugh. It gave me a good laugh. Okay, a lot of these did. But in Fairbanks, Alaska, it is illegal to serve a moose any alcoholic beverages. That's probably a really good idea to not serve a huge beast alcoholic beverages because they're a whole lot bigger than we are. I'm guessing that some idiots probably did something like that, and maybe it tore the town up. Who knows? But have you seen a moose? Those things are huge. And I know that they do walk around some of the towns that are up north. That would scare me. See one of them big old fellas out there. Girls or gals. Don't be giving them any alcoholic beverages of any kind. Okay. I don't know exactly how the name of this town is pronounced in California. And California, is it Carmel or Carmel? California. I've always called it Carmel. I could be wrong, but I bet one of you out there knows. Anyway, at one point in time, it was illegal to sell ice cream on the sidewalks. They could not sell them on the public streets. This all changed in 1987, though, when Clint Eastwood became mayor. That law was changed, and they could then start selling ice cream on the streets. Yay! Because you need your ice cream. Wow. But I thought it was funny that it was Clint Eastwood that brought the ice cream back, Don't want to make him mad. He'll terminate you. Okay. In Gary, Indiana, if you have eaten garlic in the last 4 hours, you are not allowed to go into a movie theater or ride on public transportation. I guess they don't want you knocking anybody out with your breath. I thought that was really That's a good one. So, I don't know that 4 hours is long enough to get rid of that garlic smell on the breath, but maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it didn't, but they said no. Let's see what else. I've got a couple more for you. Okay, this is in Louisiana. Okay. Now, if you decide you want to play a prank on one of your friends and send them a pizza that they did not order, okay? Because they're going to have to pay for the pizza when they bring it in. Nowadays, you normally pay for your pizza online, but so I'm guessing this is an older law. But if you sent a pizza to a friend, order them whatever kind of pizza, and they deliver it, you can be fined $500 for that little prank. Can you imagine? So, I guess that was a prank pulled on you. So, if your friends decide to, we didn't order this pizza, we're not going to pay for this, they could, I guess, call the law and find out who. I don't know how they'd trace it back. Maybe from the phone call? I don't know. Anyway, I guess your friend might know that you're the kind of person who would pull a prank like that, but then you'd be slapped with $500. That's an expensive pizza for your friend. That you would probably end up paying for that too. Now, I thought this one was really strange because when I was teaching school, I pretty much always took my lunch with me. But in Las Cruces, New Mexico, it is against the law to walk down Main Street carrying a lunchbox. I guess you could carry your lunch in a paper sack or in a nice purse. They wouldn't know it was a lunchbox then, though, would they? So that is another really strange law that I do not understand. I mean, really? I'd have been. I guess I would have just carried it in a paper sack or something. I'd have to make it look like something else. Wow, that's harsh. I guess they didn't want tourists seeing people, being all businesslike. Because if you are a person who teaches school or something like that, and you can't leave to go get something to eat, and, I very seldom ever ate in the school cafeteria. Problem was, they had a lot of starchy food, and it'd make you put on some extra weight sometimes. So I normally took my lunch, but I guess the lunchbox would have had to have gone. That would have been so sad. So what did you think about these laws? To me, the one that there are a couple that really stick out in my mind. One of them is serving alcoholic beverages to a moose. For one thing, I don't think I'd be getting close enough to a moose to do something that stupid. And the other one was asking somebody if you could have a bite of their hamburger. Hey there, can I have a bite of your hamburger? I'm a little hungry, but I'm not sure which one I want. Yeah, that would be a little bit weird. Can you imagine going from table to table? Can I have a bite of your hamburger? Can I have a bite of your hamburger? You wouldn't have to buy a hamburger at all by the time you got finished. Of course, they'd probably call the police and tell you, get out of here. If someone asked you if they could have a bite of your hamburger, would you let them do it? I wouldn't. Now, if somebody was hungry, I'd buy them their own hamburger. But just take a bite out of my hamburger? No. Germs, I'm sorry. But, yeah. Some of your slobber's going to come out onto my hamburger. So, no. You may not. Oops. Dropping my stuff now. I'm getting excited about the hamburgers. So, no, there's no way I would do that. Can you think of any crazy laws that you know of in your own town? I'm sure we have them in ours, our little old town. I'm going to have to look our town up and see. I don't know if it'll be on Google or not, but yeah. It's quite interesting the things that you can find out when you Google. Boy, oh boy. Oh, and I had told a true crime story about this crazy guy that became obsessed with these young girls, and then at the end it told about the mother who was, I think she was 71 years old, and she was arrested and fined for growing pot. Well, I actually looked it up because this happened in 1918, and I looked it up to see if pot was illegal back then, and yes, it was. I think it said sometime in I don't remember if it was 1914. I should have written it down. Somewhere in that time frame, they made it illegal. At one time, it was used for medical purposes, just like today. Back in the 1800s, the late 1800s, they were using smoking marijuana for the same reasons they're doing it today. But then they decided that pot was bad and that it could cause all kinds of problems, but actually it's not as bad as somebody who's drinking. They said they don't know of anyone who has overdosed smoking pot. So I don't know. I don't think one way or the other, but you know what? If it can help people, yeah. I think that's, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's all kind of crazy. So some states, yes, you can have it, but in mine, no, you can't. So I have a feeling that one day it's going to be legal everywhere. It was at one point in time. It was legal in a lot of areas, and then states started making it illegal. So I thought that was interesting, that at one time it was legal. Of course, so was doctors were prescribing cocaine and all other kinds of things before they knew that was really harmful. So I don't know. Sometimes, one thing goes a little too far one way or the other. But I did think that was interesting because I didn't even think about that they were smoking pot back then. But yeah, they sure were. Because that story took place in 1918, and at that time it was illegal. Now, if she'd done it a little, several years before that, she'd have been just fine. She could have been selling that, to medical practices and whatever. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. We got to go with whatever they decide, and we'll just keep on going and doing our thing. So, tell me what you think. Do you like hearing about the laws? I know several said you want to hear more true crime stories, and yeah, I've got one. Some of them are really gross. Does that bother a lot of people? I won't get into like really gory details, because some of them, let me tell you, there's some nutty people out there, eating other people. I mean, just, gross. Just gross. You see it on TV, but you don't think it's really something that has happened. But yeah, they get some of those things from things that actually happened, like Silence of the Lambs actually came from a man who found that he'd only killed, I think, 2 people, but he was actually also digging up graves and using their skins, and like Hannibal Lecter was doing. He made himself skins like for his chairs and stuff. It's just it's disgusting. I'm sorry if I've grossed you totally out now. But I was appalled at some of the things that I have seen and heard that people did, and that was something that took place. I can't remember if it was in the late 1800s, early 1900s. But yeah, that wasn't something that just happened recently. So people, yeah, I don't know. I'll just stop now so I don't make anybody else get sick. I'm sorry if you were eating while I was saying that. But if there are any other things you want me to talk about, I was actually looking up useless information, and I found some things that were, they were useless, but they answered some questions. They answered some questions that I had. So I don't know. Just let me know what you think. Tell me what you think. And what do y'all think about my picture of Ginger? I think it's coming out. Oh, it's coming out so much better than I even dreamed. I thought it was going to look like a conglomerated looking mess, but it's looking pretty good. So I am going to bid you adieu for now, and I hope you're having a fabulous day, night, morning, whatever it may be. Take care of yourselves, guys. I love you. God bless you. And may all your dreams come true. Bye.